Welcome back to Hogwarts Legacy. We're starting out with some Summoner's Court, round 2 versus Leander here. We're going to crush his mind, body, and soul.
Nothing to it.
Oh yeah, nothing to it, but he didn't even get a perfect score first try. Let's see if I can pull it off. Meowcadams ain't gonna let you down, buddy, let me tell you. See, that's how it's done right there, sir. Risky business, but hey, off to a good start. Wow, bro's playing it safe, another dirty 30.
All in the wrist.
Oh, that was close. All right, I'll take it. A perfect score so far.
That one. Try to beat that.
Well, this would be pretty hard to mess up. As long as I get a 30, I'm good to go. I might just play it safe to assure the victory. Look at that. Doing what you did, buddy. Playing it safe, see what happens. Points to Ravenclaw all around. Let's go.
Not bad. Well done. You beat me. Bit of good luck, that's all.
I'm not lucky. I'm simply better than you.
All right, fine. You're right. You're better than me. I'll let the others know you're good enough to keep playing.
The others?
I lost 7 matches in a row to Samantha Dale. The others who play Summoner's Court thought that if you couldn't beat me, you wouldn't be enough of a challenge.
Chin up, Leander. Keep practicing and you'll get better.
I suppose you're right. I'll let the others know that your metal's been tested, and that you passed.
You know, sometimes you gotta give them tough love, but then also a little bit of encouragement.
Professor Weasley? Somewhere away from prying eyes.
Forgive me, the headmaster stopped me and I... Merlin's beard. I see you've wasted no time. Well done. Shall we?
After you, Professor. What is this place?
This is the Room of Requirement. It only appears when one is in real need of it. Ordinarily, a student might stumble upon this room entirely by accident. If ever. I'd only suggest to you how to find it by walking past that bit of wall, focusing on what you need. But you've managed to reveal the room on your own. While I'm here, we should take advantage of the moment. Now, where is Deke? He must have sneaked past and gone ahead.
Deke, Professor?
The house elf I was speaking to in my classroom your first day. Thought he might help you use the room. There's no chance I'm clambering over this mess.
Well, this quest is pretty alright so far. You basically have to just solve some puzzles and get rid of some chairs that are blocking your way. Make your way through here. There's some collectibles and chests as well. It's pretty chill for the most part. Basically, this part of the game and the storyline, you're just learning like how to decorate your room of requirement and, you know, how to do custom themes. You can kind of play The Sims, but in Hogwarts, you know. You can put down your planting tables so you can make plants or potions, for potions obviously, you know. And then you have it at your disposal and you can have multiple of them in your room of requirement, which is great. It's basically like your space and you can go to it anytime. You can get a lot of materials fast. It's super useful. I definitely recommend not overlooking it, as a lot of people do in their first playthrough. It's very beneficial. You would be how surprised those how good those cabbages and like mandrakes and stuff are late game. Very, very useful. Definitely don't overlook it for sure. But yeah, you basically just get rid of some chairs, and this mission's pretty simple. Follow the candles, and you'll get to the end, no problem. And then we're gonna meet Mr. Deke.
Yikes! Careful!
Huh? Oh, there you are. Wait right there. Deke will come to you.
We've been looking for you.
Apologies, Professor Weasley. Deke was looking through some of what's appeared in the room since Deke was last here. Is this the student?
Indeed it is.
Deke is honored to meet you.
Deke has been a friend since I was a second year. We discovered this room together. I mentioned you to Deke. We believe that you might be able to benefit from this room like I did. Deke, would you be so kind?
Of course, Professor Weasley. The Room of Requirement will always be equipped for the Seeker's needs. It's unplottable, so won't appear on any map. Most happen upon it by accident, if ever. Deke's seen students in need of an extra file for potions stumble upon the room filled with them. You seem to have accessed it in its form as the Room of Hidden Things.
I was thinking about needing a place away from prying eyes. Brilliant.
Oh, that explains it then.
What I need specifically is a place where I can catch up on my schoolwork without distraction.
Well then, the room can provide you with precisely that. Now, it's time to focus on what you need. Just close your eyes. Imagine the room precisely as you need it. The room will do the rest.
You've given yourself quite a canvas to work with. I look forward to seeing what you do with the space. Ah, and it seems the room has provided you with a desk of description. Excellent. Deke will be here to answer any questions you may have. Do not underestimate his insights.
I will be sure to speak with Deke if I need anything. Thank you.
Good luck. I shall linger a bit longer in case you'd like to learn another transfiguration spell for use in the room.
Well, I'm glad that's over. It's like my least favorite part of the game, this whole Room of Requirement thing. It's really easy to figure out. They could have just done it in like one quest instead of doing it over multiple, but whatever, it's best to learn in detail. That way you can, soak in the most information. So just as example here, I got a couple of tables down. You can put in statues, tables, chairs, whole bunch of stuff. It's like playing Sims, but you can't like build the house. The space you have, I guess, is set and limited, but other than that, you can completely customize the inside. You can even change the theme and the ambiance of the room as well, which we will see in a minute when I go talk to Deke. I'm thinking that I might as well go with this, Expelliarmus, it's just so good. It's useful, it's used on the regular, and it's beneficial. You can also cause some wizards to use their own spells against themselves when you use Expelliarmus, like, there's these professional, I don't remember what they're called. There's some sort of poacher anyway that you find out in the open world. And when you use the disarming charm, it basically causes them to set themselves on fire with a fire tornado. It's pretty cool. Oh, attending Hogwarts at this time must have been great. Everybody here is so smiley and happy. They all look like they're having a fantastic time at school, unlike everybody else every single day. That says a lot, doesn't it? Yet they don't change anything. Pretty crazy. And usually the lunches are very terrible,
I completed your assignments, Professor.
Good. You should be ready to learn Depulso. Let's see what you can do. Concentrate. Do not let your mind wander.
So sometimes with spells, you only have to do like certain quest requirements, or the professors will ask you to go and do certain things or different challenges, and then you can unlock spells that way. So if you just play storyline quests, you will not unlock all the spells. So make sure that you are side questing, because you are going to need them later in the game. The more you have, the better, trust me.
Professor.
Very well. First, you'll need to gather some moonstone. You can acquire it by vanishing items here in the Room of Requirement, or you can gather it carefully outside of the Hogwarts grounds. Return to me once you've gathered enough, and we shall begin the lesson.
Hey, time to do some interior decorating. Yes, sir. We're going to put up lots of pictures here. Basically, this quest makes you put up a set amount of things just so that you get kind of a feel for being able to customize your room. And of course, as you play through the game, you're going to unlock more posters, portraits, Basically, a lot of the chests out in the open world are collectibles. Some have armor and weapons and things like that, or I should say like skins for your wand more or less than anything. But you can also get customizations for your Room of Requirement. You can even do this, these funky little goth chairs. I find it kind of funny that they put them in there. I wonder if it's a reference to The Sims, how there's like the Gothic stuff, like the goth household. Always best, the tactic that I used to do when I played The Sims, I would go right in there and I would immediately go and befriend the goths, and then I would make them my significant other and marry them, and then I would divorce them, take them from their household and take all their money, and then I would have all the money and they can leave me alone. It was really good. You get an easy, 50 grand or whatever from them, and you can do that household to household. You can just home wreck the whole town for money in The Sims 4. If you need money and you want to do it legit, it's a great method.
What sort of overall look most appeals to you?
I'd like the room to feel mysterious and eerie, as if I'm in the Forbidden Forest, surrounded by shadows.
Oh, sounds perfect.
Quite a difference. Of course, you needn't keep this style if you don't like it. You can always ask Deek to change it back. Now you have learnt a good bit about alteration.
Thank you, Professor. The room is full of possibilities.
Indeed. No matter how much time I spend here, the room always manages to surprise me. An even bigger space.
How did that happen?
The room equips itself to your needs. It must have sensed that you needed more space to practice spellcasting. If you'd like to customize the space further, you can use these spellcrafts. You'll find more of them both inside and outside the school.
Thank you, Professor. I shall keep an eye out.
Good. I'll leave you to it. This is your space now. Use it wisely.
Alright, so now that this quest is complete, you have a huge area that you're able to customize and tailor to your liking, as well as put in a lot of useful things that you're probably going to need throughout the story. Honestly, if you just kind of raw dog this and don't use your Room of Requirement, props to you, man. I did it my first time too, but I really wish I utilized the things in there. It would have made my life so much easier. And also, moving forward, when we do get to the point where we get to the vivarium, which is where you get pets, you can basically suck the animals up like the Ghostbusters do in a little bag. It's kind of funny to watch, honestly, but there's various creatures throughout the lands, not all of them, that you can capture and then take home. You can breed them and stuff like that, feed them, pet them. There's some neat little animations, and when you do that, you'll get the items from them, like feathers or whatever, so you don't need to go out into the wild and catch the animals for the materials anymore. You have them at your disposal, so I definitely recommend that you do make sure you are capturing animals when you can. I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to treat it like Pokemon. And hey, now we have a pretty little site to have a wonderful little tea party right here, and or some pizza and a few drinks. I'm not opposed to that, of course.
Off on another adventure, are we?
Oh, I'm always off on an adventure. I don't know why, but when that person was talking from the sidelines, it reminded me of Fable 2, like when you were going out and about and stuff, and you'd run into various NPCs, or when the guards would go, "The time is very late." I loved that so
Sorry,
much.
I'm in a bit of a tizzy. I was just scolding some of the plants for spitting and nipping. I suppose it's my own fault for putting more than 4 to a tray. By the way, Beatrice Green is the name, but you may address me as Madam Green. Welcome to Dogweed and Deathcap. Oh, mind you don't knock the mandrakes. Oh, if there wasn't the constant demand for antidotes, I wouldn't need to stock so many of the little dears. Except, of course, for curses. And, well, if you've been petrified, then obviously you've come to the right place. Mind you don't knock the mandrakes. Oh, if there's an uprooting, you'll be the next one to drop dead, and I'm in no mood for a clear-up.
What do you have for sale?
So when it does come to like crafting materials and stuff like that, or plant parts or animal products or whatever, there are stores in Hogsmeade usually for the most part that you can buy all those things. They are going to cost you a pretty penny, so you might have to farm some money. But those chests, if you were paying attention a minute ago when I did that chest where you have to use your invisible spell, it'll give you 500 gold each time. Every single one of those chests is so worth your time to do. As well as doing these two, you get neat rewards. You'll get the field pages, which give you XP. Getting field pages is a really quick way for you to level up because they add up really quickly. And like you get 10, 20, 30 of those, oh, you're leveling up quick, especially early game.
You can feed a beast, or it can feed you.
I gotta say, it's pretty wild given that these mandrakes, shattered all the glass in the greenhouse, at the Hogwarts, herbology class. I'm surprised that you're allowed to just take those around. What if those went off in the wrong setting somehow, or, they're trusting them, the kids in general, to just go and, blast people's eardrums, completely shatter them. That's crazy, man.
Completed my assignments, Professor.
Pleased to hear it. Professor Weasley will be too. I'll be sure to let her know how well you're coming along.
Thank you, Professor.
Professor Hecat tells me she taught you Levioso, so you should be ready for a more advanced levitation charm. Wingardium Leviosa requires a bit of concentration and a nice, graceful wand movement. Let's see you try your hand at it.
Wow, I'm surprised we're just learning this now. This was one of the very first spells that Snape taught to Harry and them, right? That's pretty crazy. Maybe, curriculum changed over time, I suppose. Just interesting. I thought it would be unlocked a lot earlier. But hey, that is awesome. Another spell unlocked, another quest complete. We did some solid damage today, got some story done, got 5, 6 side quests done. That's awesome. That's a lot of work, and I'm glad it's put in, We got all these parts and pieces required. And now we're going to go ahead and end the episode by talking with Professor Garlick here. She has a few things to say, and then I will see you in the next Hogwarts Legacy episode. It will be episode number, 7, I think? Something like that. Anyways, I look forward to you. Ooh, check that out. Don't mind me just studying herbology class here. Clearly, not doing anything else.
Professor Garlick, a moment of your time?
The plants are resting, so now's as good a time as any.
I was wondering, what made you want to teach herbology?
How lovely of you to ask. I've always had an affinity for greenery, so this situation is a bit of a dream come true. After graduation, I was thrilled to be asked to step in for my old herbology professor. He'd had a slight accident, you see.
Oh dear. A shame for him, but it worked out well for you.
Well, he never cared, really cared for the plants, and they could sense it. Oh, you'd be surprised how perceptive a plant can be. At any rate, the trouble began one day when he cut into a Wigan tree. Unfortunately for him, its leaves were hiding a bowtruckle. You may recall the marvelous creatures that resemble a twig. The little beast gouged the professor's eyes quite fiercely, but terrifying, I'd imagine. Likely for the professor, too.
And that's when you took over as the herbology professor?
Well, not quite. After 3 weeks at St. Mungo's, my predecessor regained a tiny bit of his eyesight. He insisted on returning to the greenhouse. Within a week, he claims by accident, kicked a Chinese chomping cabbage, so it was back to St. Mungo's for him.
Fair bit of bad luck there, I'd say.
Well, I felt awful for him, but I dare say I felt a bit more sympathy for the cabbage. Upon his discharge from the hospital, his indifference to plants had turned to utter disdain. He lost